Beyond code and content, what other types of leverage have you used and thought about?
I think that being pointy is more valuable than being broad, and that's a form of leverage because mm, general capability is not something you can trade with someone else, but being a point solution, a domain specialist, is something you can trade with another domain specialist. And in a broader economy of skills and contacts and tips and help, that is much more useful, right? So I found that I'm capable of many things. I'm known for many things, but the one thing that everybody comes to me for is developer relations advice because I happen to write one blog post that went viral and is now regarded the canonical post for how you do measurements for developer relations, and that's okay, But like and you want to resist being put in a box because you're more than that. You contain multitudes, but people want to put you in a box, so you might as well help them. And that is a form of leverage. The way I put it is in my book is you might as well put them in a high value, pretty glittering box next to the checkout, together with other attractive boxes that you want to be associated with.
Yeah. So did you choose your box or did it choose you?
No, definitely chose me. Yeah, no, I definitely didn't set out to this. I even got the job by accident, right? When I interviewed at Netlify, I was supposed to be a solutions engineer, and I failed that interview. But they liked me enough that they were like, what about this other role that we have open? And I was like, sure. What is developer advocate? And then I took that role, and I did well.
So that's an interesting thing to discuss. How did you discover what the right box for you was? In this case, it sounds like maybe it was a viral blog post, but how would one discover, okay, I want to be pointy. What's the right, beautiful glittery box for me?
Yeah, I do think like it's the ever persistent question of what is the intersection of what you love and what the world values, right? Because you can't have one or the other with the exclusion of the other. And the sort of 120 IQ form of this is ikigai, which I'm sure you know about, which is that intersection of four circles: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. So that's the ikigai four circle meme. The reason I make fun of it slightly is because what you love eventually will be what you're good at, so that circle collapses. And then what the world needs and what is will eventually be what you can pay for, so that circle also collapses. The function of the internet and the long tail economy is that those two things do collapse over time. So ultimately, it's just demand and supply, right? Like this is just so many words to just say like, hey, what do you want to do with your life? And then okay, which of that bucket is something that I actually want out of you? And if you can just figure that, then it's a valuable thing. I do think that you have to take a few shots on goal. Like you have to take a leap of faith in yourself sometimes, and just put yourself out there as like this is the identity I have for a few years, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, I can pivot, and no shame because everyone is on their own journey, and no one's judging you too much for that. So I think you can try on a few identities. I think maybe you get like 3 to 5 shots at like defining what that bucket is, but it is extremely valuable to be a domain expert because actually when you are viewed as a domain expert, by the time you're viewed there, you're actually past that certain point in time where you've seen how fractal this thing goes, and you realize that there's always more depths to this, and you can get even more of an expert the more you are an expert.